Today we'll see the next disease, that is typhoid. It is also an infectious disease. So typhoid is an infection which occur due to the invasion of Salmonella typhi, or the that is yes typhi, or the Salmonella typhimurium. That is, or in short we can say that it is an infection which occur or which is caused due to the microorganism, that is Salmonella typhi or the Salmonella typhimurium. It is a bacteria invasion of this Salmonella typhi, this bacteria in a host body, means a body. This bacteria which lives in the intestine and bloodstream of human being. Yes, here I am repeating what is meant by typhoid. It is a infection which occur due to the invasion of the Salmonella typhi, that is bacteria in human body or host body. This bacteria which lives in a intestines and bloodstream of humans. This bacteria can spread through the feces of feces of infected person. Yes, this bacteria can spread. See here, this bacteria can spread through the feces of infected person. So keep in mind that it means what, this disease is transferred from always human to human. No animal is responsible for a causing this disease. See here, I am repeating, no any animal which is responsible for to carry this disease. So the transmission is always from a human to human. I am repeating. See, so what is typhoid? Typhoid is a infection which occur due to the invasion of this Salmonella typhi bacteria in the host body. And generally this bacteria which lives in a intestines and bloodstream of human being, and this bacteria can spread through the feces of infected person. See here, no any animal which is responsible for causing this disease. Always this disease is transferred from human to human. This Salmonella typhi, that is S typhi, it means Salmonella typhi, enter into the host body through the mouth and spend 1 to 3 weeks in the intestine. Then after 1 to 3 weeks, that invades into the intestinal wall and also come into the blood. See here, I am repeating, this Salmonella typhi enters into the host body through the what? Through the mouth, and spend 1 to 3 weeks in the intestine. After that, it invades into the intestinal wall and also come into the bloodstream. It means it remains in the intestine for 1 to 3 weeks, and after that it invades into the intestinal walls and then it is come into the blood. So the incubation period is usually 1 to 2 weeks, and the duration of the illness is about 3 to 4 weeks. See, I am repeating here. So incubation period is usually 1 to 2 weeks, and the duration of the illness is a 3 to 4 weeks. Then from bloodstream it is spread into the other tissues and organs. Yes, from bloodstream this Salmonella typhi is it's spread into the other tissues and organs. Then the immune system of host proves worthless as the bacteria lives in the host cell, save from a immunogenic protein. Next, that is, so this is the basic information of typhoid. Next, that is transmission. It means how it is transmitted. Of course, it is transmitted from a human to human. Not no any animal which is responsible for causing a typhoid. This Salmonella typhi bacteria, it exists. This Salmonella typhi bacteria exists the host body through its stool. That is, rarely this bacteria can also present in the urine. If such a person touch any food or article without cleaning their hands after defecation, it causes the contamination of that food. So, if any healthy person eat this contaminated food, then he will also become infected with Salmonella typhi. See, are you getting here or not? Yes, this Salmonella typhi bacteria exists in a host body through its stools. Or rarely, this bacteria which is present in urine. If such person touch any food articles without cleaning their hands after defecation, it causes the contamination of that food. And so if any healthy person eat this contaminated food, then what will happen? Then he will also become infected with this Salmonella typhi. In developing countries, the infected human waste human waste can contaminate the water supply. The people who drink this contaminated water or eat food washed in contaminated water can also develop the typhoid fever. It means it also spread to the contaminated food or the contaminated water. Then there are also different ways of transmission. Second, that is use of a toilet contaminated with bacteria and touching mouth before washing the hand. Yes, use of toilet contaminated with bacteria and touching the mouth before washing the hands. The next, eating seafood from a water source contaminated by the infected feces or urine. Then, eating a raw vegetables that have been fertilized with human waste. Yes, eating a raw vegetable that have been fertilized with a human waste. Then having a oral or anal sex with a person who is carrier of Salmonella typhi bacteria. So this is all about the transmission of this typhoid. Next point, that is pathogenesis or the mechanism. That first, the bacteria is enter into the healthy body through the contaminated water of the food. First, yes, in pathogen first step, that is this bacteria. It means Salmonella typhi, which is enter into the healthy body through any transmission mode or through the contaminated water or food. Then the incubation period is about 2 weeks, and after the incubation period, this bacterium attack on lymphoid follicles and pairs patches of small intestine, and then there is proliferation of this bacteria. See here I am repeating pathogenesis. In pathogenesis, this bacteria, it means this Salmonella typhi enter into the healthy body through the contaminated water of the food. And the incubation period for this, it is a 2 weeks, and after the completion of incubation period, it attacks on lymphoid follicles and pairs patches of small intestine, and there is proliferation of this bacteria. Then this bacteria enter into the blood, causing bacteremia. Then this is characterized by continuous rise in temperature and also rose spot. Yes, due to this, what will happen? There is continuous increase in temperature and formation of rose spots. This immunological reaction initiate after a 10 days of symptomatic stage. Initially after a 10 days. Then these bacilli are localized at intestinal lymphoid tissue, that is causing intestinal lesion. Yes, it is if it is localized in intestinal lymphoid tissue, then it causes a intestinal lesion. Then if it is localized in mesenteric lymph nodes, then it causes hemorrhagic lymphadenitis. Then at spleen, if it is localized at spleen, then it causes splenic reactive hyperplasia. And then it is in gallbladder, then it causes typhoid cholecystitis. Then this is all about what? Pathogenesis. Then next, that is carrier. Up to 1 to 20, 1 in 20 people who survive typhoid fever without being treated will become a carrier of the infection. See what I am saying? Up to 1 in 20 people who survive typhoid fever without being treated will become a carrier of the infection. And this means the Salmonella typhi bacteria continue to live in the carrier body. Yes, this means what? The Salmonella typhi bacteria continue to live in the carrier's body and can be spread normal in feces and urine, but the carrier doesn't have any noticeable symptoms and also symptom of conditions. Yes, it means what? The Salmonella typhi bacteria continue to live in the carrier body and it can spread through the feces or urine, but the carrier doesn't have any noticeable symptoms of this typhoid fever. So this it is the carrier. Next, that is symptoms. Generally, the symptoms are begin between the 6 and 30 days after exposure to bacteria. There are two major symptoms of this typhoid. First, that is fever, and second, that is rash. Yes, there are generally of the major two symptoms. First, that is fever, and second, that is rash. And this typhoid fever is particularly for a high fever, that is 39 to 40 degrees Celsius. Then this rashes which appears on the neck and abdomen. Yes, this rashes which appears on the neck and abdomen, and this rashes doesn't appear in all the patients. Then other symptoms it includes, yes, what are the major symptoms? First, that is fever, and second, that is rash. But generally these rashes which are appear on the neck and also the abdomen, but the rashes doesn't appear or does not appear in all the patients. Then what are the next symptoms? That is weakness, then stomach or abdominal pain, constipation, lethargy, then loss of appetite, cough and headache, then chest congestion. Then rare symptom it means might include confusion, diarrhea, then vomiting, but this is not normally severe. It means what? This confusion, diarrhea, vomiting, these symptoms are not as severe. In serious untreated cases, the bowel can become perforated, and this can lead to peritonitis. Then causes. So what are the causes? Yes, of course. The main cause of this typhoid fever, it is a typhoid is mainly caused due to the Salmonella typhi, and it is spread through the contaminated food, drink and drinking water that are contaminated with infected fecal matter. See, I am repeating here. This typhoid which is caused by bacteria, that is Salmonella typhi, and it is spread or transmitted through the food, drink and also the drinking water, food, drinks and the drinking water that are contaminated with infected fecal matter. Then for diagnosis, the stool, blood or the bone marrow sample are taken. It means a blood and urine test and also the bone marrow is also taken. Then for diagnosis purpose, the Vidal test is performed. See here, it is important which test is used for diagnosis of fever. That is, the answer is Vidal test, and this test shows the presence of antibodies against the Salmonella antigen, that is O osmotic and H flagellar in test sample. Yes, here it is important, that is which test is used for diagnosis of this typhoid fever, that is Vidal test. So this test shows the presence of This test shows presence of what? Antibodies against Salmonella antigen. This is O somatic and H flagella in test sample. But this Vidal test having some disadvantages like a time consuming. It is a time consuming process and significant false positive result. This test may be also use also be sorry this test the test may also be falsely negative in rare early in course of illness. Then typo test involves the principle of ELISA, that is enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. That is in diagnosis, physical examination, then blood and urine test, then next that is Vidal test, then temperature checkup. Then this typo test involve the principle of ELISA, that is enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. And this test is performed by using ELISA kit. The kit which is available, that is ELISA kit, which detect the IgM, immunoglobulin M and immunoglobulin G antibodies against the outer membrane protein, that is OMP of the Salmonella typhi. And the typhoid test become positive within 2 to 3 days of infection and separately identifies the two antibodies, that is immunoglobulin M and immunoglobulin G. This is the most important limitation of this test, is that it is not quantitative and the result is only positive or negative. And while the Vidal test allows qualitative as well as quantitative determination. So this is all about a diagnosis, that is ELISA and Vidal test. So next, that is, so what is treatment for this the typhoid? That is oral rehydration therapy, then use of different antibiotics, then where the resistance is not a problem, then the treatment of choice is a fluoroquinolone and the ciprofloxacin are drugs which are used for treatment of typhoid fever. So this is all about the typhoid. Next point we will see in next lecture.